is Liddesdale, the quintessential border Reiver Valley. I'm here today on the trail of a great man of Scots border legend. Some legendary men have huge monuments, shrines, tombs erected in their honour, and people pay homage to them all the time. But the man I'm on the trail of today, I don't know if he has that sort of tomb, but I want to find his final resting place. And who was that man? Kinmont Willie Armstrong. Now, Kinmont Willie was a border reiver, like hundreds of other men of the time. But what set Kinmont Willie apart was the scale and magnitude of his crimes. He became the most wanted man in Scotland and probably Britain from the English authorities because of the level of raiding and thieving that he committed. He really was a feared character on the English side of the border. But on the Scottish side of the border here, Willie would have been seen in a different light altogether. A man of the people. He was only thieving to keep his family and his people fed and alive. I could spend the next few hours here reading out the documented charges made against Willie by the English. There's a massive list of things that he was wanted for, and he really did make a name for himself. A notoriety above all other reivers. Now you can just imagine how enraged and angered these English soldiers and march wardens were to see Kinmont Willie Armstrong at this meeting. The most wanted man in the land. A fugitive that these guys had probably been chasing down personally over the last 10 years. And there he was right in front of them, but they could do nothing about it because of the border law. It was only after the meeting had finished. Kinmont Willie was making his way home down the Scottish side of the River Liddle here, and the English armies and march wardens were making their way down the English side of the River Liddle. Tempers became frayed. Who knows what Willie and the English armies were saying to each other across the water. But whatever it was that was said, the English could take no more, and they forded the River Liddle right here to apprehend, arrest, to capture and take Willie. The result was a foregone conclusion. Willie was heavily outnumbered. Rumour has it he was on his own, and there was over 100 English men. Then once bound and shackled to his horse, old Kinmont Willie was brought here to the looming fortress of Carlisle Castle. A place where many border reivers were brought to be hung, and Kinmont Willie was the greatest prize that Queen Elizabeth I could hope for. The most notorious, sought after reiver on the whole of the borderline was now illegally under her control. But because of Kinmont's reputation and strong allegiances on the Scottish side of the border, his capture by the English was met by outrage, complete outrage, by the whole of the Scottish border community, but in particular by the man who was the warden of Liddesdale at the time, and that was Walter Scott of Buccleuch. Walter Scott of Buccleuch attempted negotiations with Lord Scott, who was in charge of Carlisle Castle, to have Kinmont Willie freed, but they were absolutely useless. There was no way Willie was getting freed, so Buccleuch had to dream up another way to get Willie out of the formidable fortress at Carlisle Castle. As negotiations broke down, there was quite simply only one way Buccleuch was going to get Kinmont Willie out of there, and that was by breaking him out. Now, this formidable fortress looks impenetrable to me, so you can imagine what it was like in the 1500s. Zero equipment, dark, middle of the night, pouring with rain, but they were determined. Such was the measure of Kinmont Willie, they were going to get him out of there. But to break Willie out, first they had to break in, and that's what I'm going to attempt to do today. Slightly easier because all I was on it today is pay £5 or something to get in, so we'll go in and have a look, see if we can see Kinmont Willie's cell. He must have had some nerve to break in here. I wouldn't even want to break in here now as a tourist attraction. I'm in. Yes, that was easy. £9. Free ticket for the museum as well. Now, who can I rescue? Who can I rescue today? It's good because there's a little museum at the corner there, and in that museum they've got the ballad of Kinmont Willie being recited over the loudspeaker, which is a bit of an affront to the castle because that was when us borderers broke in and freed him. But hey, well, it must be a proud thing for them as well. I reckon Kinmont was held at one of these wee dank cells at the north wall here, because it was over the wall that Buccleuch and his adversaries, only 20 men apparently, broke in, and they got Kinmont Willie out of his cell, back over the wall and away back to Scotland. But the reverberations of this escape and violation of this castle were massive and almost sparked another war between England and Scotland. So Willie was rescued and brought back up the Esk Valley here to the relative safety of the Scottish borders. But Queen Elizabeth I was enraged, completely enraged. She demanded that Buccleuch, Scott of Buccleuch, was brought to London to answer for his crime. Buccleuch was brought to London, but he charmed Queen Elizabeth so much that he was released, and from that day on Buccleuch became a rich man. But what happened to Kinmont Willie? Well, Willie went back to the life he'd always known, raiding and reiving, from England, from here in the Scottish borderlands, and died a free man in his bed many years later. But what I want to do today is find Willie's final resting place. Where was he buried? Because it's certainly not something that's on the tourist trail. Ah, look, there's a friendly looking old local guy over there. I'll go and ask him if he knows where it is. Excuse me, mate, do you know where the final resting place of Kinmont Willie Armstrong is? Ah, the gravy Kinmont Willie. A strange cemetery in the middle of nowhere called Rig. You don't want to go there yourself, son. Don't go yourself. Well, I've got nobody else with me, so I'll need to go myself, but he was a nice man, wasn't he? Handsome man as well. Surely this old place can't be the final resting place of a folk hero. A Scottish border giant left here to rot? Surely not. So yeah, this is it. This forgotten, desolate, dilapidated graveyard is the final resting place of a Scottish borders hero. A man who rocked the English nation, a man who almost kick-started another war between Scotland and England, a man who was so highly thought of that the leaders of his country went and penetrated the most formidable stronghold of Queen Elizabeth I to rescue him. And how do we remember him? With an unmarked grave here. But for me, and most people, Kinmont Willie doesn't need a tombstone to be remembered by. For me, Kinmont Willie will live forever in Scottish border legend and folklore and tales. And we can pay homage to him however we want. There's a small plaque under this yew tree, you can hardly read it, but it's been presented by the Armstrong family, someone who was a direct descendant of Kinmont Willie. It is quite sad when you see a site of such historic significance just neglected like this. It's all money these days, isn't it? You know, who's going to stump up the cash to look after these stones? Nobody. Of course, Walter Scott of Buccleuch left a slightly more enduring physical legacy. And it's still the biggest private landowner in the whole of the UK. This is Tully House Museum in Carlisle, and even here they have this huge portrait of Kinmont Willie being captured by the English. It would seem that English inhabitants in Carlisle are more proud of this story than we are in Scotland. Why is that? Because it is exactly that, a story, something to bring people here.